everybody. Welcome. I'm Megyn Kelly, and we begin this morning with our series, Secrets Revealed. Over the course of 5 days in the fall of 2015, the 21-year-old son of our first guests lived with what he felt was a terrible secret. Jake Curtis fell victim to online extortion. What happened over those 5 days would change the course of Jake's and his family's lives forever. Please watch as Cindy George tells us about her son and that dangerous online encounter.
My heart breaks for what he went through. He was just real fun-loving. He was really quiet if you didn't know him, but once you knew him, look out, you know. He was a fun kid. He and I went on a national parks road trip. I just cherish that. Because I am a teacher, and he used to come and spend so much time in my classroom, he decided he wanted to be a teacher.
Despite such a bright future, 21-year-old Jake Curtis began to suffer in silence. Nothing could have prepared Cindy George, his mother, for what she began to learn on Friday, October 30th, 2015, after reading a letter Jake had written to her.
Dear Mom, I love you so much that it pains to write this. I apologize for what I did. I lost my way and couldn't get back. I know this is sudden, but the hell I went through Sunday through Thursday was too much for me to handle.
A clearer picture would not be revealed to Cindy for another 4 months, as she would learn that Jake had spent the previous 5 days communicating online with a stranger.
He thought it was a girl, and she got him to take a picture. It was kind of like a, you show me yours, I'll show you mine type thing, and he did it.
Jake shared a nude photo of himself through Kik messages. The conversation from Jake's smartphone indicates he expected to receive a nude photo in return.
As soon as he sent that picture, they said, okay, now we've got you.
Jake had become the victim of sextortion.
She said, you're going to pay me some money, or I'm going to send your picture to your work, your school, your family and friends.
They told him to send $300 immediately.
And they said he had 10 minutes.
The text showed the blackmailer also demanded photos of Jake making the payments as proof that Jake was following their rules.
They had him in such a panic, in such a way that he did not think things through. He really believed that they could destroy his life. So he went and made the payment.
The text showed Jake was promised several times by his blackmailer that the nude photo would be deleted if the money were paid.
He said, now, are you going to erase it, like you said?
The text showed he knew that he had been scammed, but he never told a soul, not his mother, not the authorities. Jake soon realized the threat was far from over.
They said, Jake, do you believe in genies? And he's like, why? And he says, because you're going to be our own personal genie, and you're going to grant us 3 wishes or 3 payments.
Joining me now is Jake's mother, Cindy George, and Jake's father, Darren Curtis. Thank you so much for being here. This is an important story, and it is happening more and more in today's day and age, which is why you're speaking out. So the threat began with Jake, innocently enough, corresponding online through this messaging service, Kik, with someone he believed to be a young woman. Just describe him to us. What was he fun-loving? What's he like?
Jake was the most fun-loving, fun personality kid and he loved music. From the time he was a little baby, he would be in the background. As a toddler, he would keep beat to the music, and he loved music. He was a prankster. He liked to blow watermelons up in my kitchen, and I came home one day and my room was full of balloons. He just did fun things. Just a really fun-loving kid, and very generous, very kind-hearted. He's the type of kid that I'm a teacher, and he was in my class. Your mother is a teacher, no fun, right? And there was a little boy who was being picked on, and he was the only one that would be his friend. And the other kids would say, come, Jake, come play basketball with us. And he would say, no, I'm going to I'm going to hang out with him, you know, with
That's
this
good.
other little boy. He was just really kind.
These 5 days unfolded from, well, Sunday to Thursday. And ultimately, Jake couldn't take the pressure. He couldn't take the threats, which culminated in threats against your family as well. And he took his own life.
He did.
How can it be that a otherwise healthy young man, right? He wasn't mentally ill. He had a close relationship with the two of you from everything I've read. How can that be?
They really had to work to get him to send a picture, and then when they sent it, they put so much pressure on him. When I read his phone, when I got it back 4 months later, I just shook. I understood why he was under so much pressure. They said that they were going to destroy his life. They had Facebook pages of where he worked, where he went to school. They sent members of his family names and said that they were going to destroy their lives through Facebook.
It started off, as we put in that piece, with a singular threat. Well, I want $300 and I want it right now. And you can see Jake realize he's done something, he's given something very personal to somebody he should not have trusted.
Yes.
And the person keeps upping the ante, and you can feel Jake's panic unfold in some of these texts. There's one where he makes the first payment of $300, then he sends another payment of $130 after he's realizing this person is a scam artist. And the text message says from Jake, "You have broken your word twice. Why would I believe you now?" The blackmailer responds, "Well, you don't have a choice." The blackmailer sends again a picture of Jake's nude photo and says, "Do you?" And Jake responds, "You're ruining my life. Please." There was never any mercy shown. The person was singularly determined to get more money from him.
Oh, he begged. He begged. He says, "I'm just a college kid. Please leave me alone." He said, "Please don't destroy my life." I mean, he begged. And he said, "I already gave you a payment." And they said, "Well, you're going to be my personal genie, and you're going to give me 3 more payments now." And every time they told him, "Well, we'll delete it, we'll delete it." And finally, at one point, I could tell that he gave up. He realized this was never ending. He made 3 payments to him, and then he realized this is going to go on and on.
You can feel his desperation in the text messaging that was exchanged. There was one where the blackmailer said, "If you're serious," he said, "get ready for your suicide," and sent Jake another picture of him nude. And Jake responded, "So after I pay you almost $700 and I'm about to kill myself, you still will post it?" The blackmailer says, "I can always pretend to be you, talk dirty to your friends, and send that." You had dinner with your son the day before he took his own life?
Yeah.
How was he? Or lunch?
It was the normal Jake that I've always known. I mean, we would kid each other all the time, and we even talked about after eating that, hey, let's go golfing, let's go hit a bucket of balls, and yeah, it was him. No difference in him, but I think he was under so much pressure at the time, but nothing I could pick up on.
Mm-hmm. This was a close family. Cindy and Jake had taken a trip together, just the two of them, shortly before this all happened. It wasn't like this was not an attentive set of parents. And he was a good boy. He had never had trouble before. He was maybe a late bloomer. He had just had his first kiss shortly before this at age 21, but a lot of people are late bloomers.
Yeah.
So the night you get the call, who called you to tell you what had happened?
So I'm at school doing grades, and I get a call from the police, and they just said, "Do you have a place in Kanosh?" And I said, "Yes." And they said, "Do you have a son named Jake?" And I said, "Yes." And at that point, I was like, oh, he just he's there, and they don't know who he is, because it's a small town, and they're wondering who's in this house that he break in or whatever. And then they just said, "Well, your son has taken his life in your house." And I just said, it can't be. I was just with him Saturday. this happened in 5 days. And I just said, it can't be, because my son wouldn't do that. He wasn't sad. He wasn't depressed. It just didn't make sense. And I argued with them until they finally said, I said, if it's really him, then what does his car look like? And so they described his car. And at that point, I just went screaming out of my school, and they had to stop me, and I was just hysterical because it just didn't make sense, He was a happy kid.
And the incredible unfairness of it, the incredible, here's your son, as I understand this. I have 3 kids of my own. I have 2 boys. This beautiful boy who, with a beautiful body, and there's nothing wrong with nudity. There's nothing, he sent a picture of himself nude, which is no crime, to the wrong person, but was guilted by this other person to the point where he thought he had so much riding on that photo and its publication and what was going to be done to his family as a result of it. And the question now is accountability, because Jake, before he took his life, left behind clues as to what had happened to him, who did it. And the question we have today is, why is this person still out there? Why are they still out there possibly extorting others right now? That part of the story is next.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.